Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming back with Tuan Le channel. Today, Kevin and I will discuss about gun, Biden, and the uh, the redistrict in America, including Florida and other states. So, Kevin, what do we have today?
Okay, so we have the Sacramento shooting, and you know that there was a shooting that occurred in Sacramento, which 6 people died and 11 people, I think, were injured. And right on time, you have the president who says that we need more gun control. He's on record as saying that we need to ban ghost guns, require background checks for all gun sales, ban assault weapons, high capacity magazines, repeal gun manufacturers' immunity from liability, and so on and so on and so on. What about it, Juan?
Well, it's always for many years. It's always the problem. The firm Democrat try to push, remove the Second Amendment or ban gun and all stuff like that. It's all about political, not about the people. Democrat want if they want to change this country to communism, they have to remove gun because gun is something that is keep American freedom and American safe. Um, that isn't the, removing gun is a reason for them for Biden right now because he don't know what to do with Ukraine, and that's why he have
So
to
you think
say
this is a cover story?
is a cover story. And on top of that, Democrats want to remove gun for many years, and I don't think remove gun is will keep people safe. Is remove gun is create more problem and give the government more power to do whatever they want to do. Imagine if 2020, if we don't have gun, maybe there's more worse stuff will happen.
Well, Australia is an example of that, right?
Yes, Australia, example of that, and many country too. I will give example in a second too because, um, in let me use Vietnam is a country for example. In Vietnam is under communism right now, so they want to control people. If they give the people the gun, everybody in Vietnam want to be freedom.
Right.
They don't want to control by communism anymore. But the dangers of people don't have a gun is the government getting power. They do whatever they want to, but the remove gun doesn't reduce the killing. People will kill people with anything they can, with knife, with swords, with whatever, because the mafia in Vietnam is huge too. It's huge because they know the people don't have a tool to protect themselves. They don't have anything to protect them. So, and that's why they can go into anybody's house. They want to kill anybody at any time they want to. There's a lot of stories like that happen every day. And then on top of that, like business, small business, people is hardly to survive with the government already because of tax, because of the corruption money have to pay under the table. Put it this way, if somebody open a coffee shop or a small restaurant or even a food truck or a food cart, no, for street food, they have to pay the inspector the money on the table. Otherwise, they give them a problem. On top of that, they have to pay the mafia the money to stand right there.
So it's like protection money.
Protection money, yeah, protect money. You don't need to, but you have to because
So
if you
you have
don't,
to pay someone to protect you.
yeah, pay someone to protect you for even a food truck.
Mm.
So that ripping up the mafia ripping up people right there because they know if they don't give the money, the business will be damaged. And so many cases it's been killed people on the street, in the house, in the publics, everywhere by use source, use a knife, use different weapon. There's a massive of people killing too. It's not if people really want to kill people, a knife can quickly kill multiple people at the same time. It's as fast as a gun. Why people think a gun is fast? But really, if they come in a group of a shorts, they run down, on a moped with two shorts on there on
Or the
their arm,
vehicle, as you saw
on
the
a vehicle.
gentleman back last December that ran through the parade and killed what 5 or 6 people as
Yeah,
well.
but like imagine like Vietnam, like look at it, New York, right? People on the street. If the guy with two shorts and running down drive, they don't need a gun.
Right.
They can kill people too. But gun, at least we are right now have protection. It had control on it. People who register the gun and they know where the gun come from. But if we put no gun, they buy from black market. We don't know of because the source can come from anywhere. Like in Vietnam, the mafia have gun. They do drug, they do stuff like that. They have gun, but they buy from black market, and there's no control.
So, and the government, any laws then would say and would consider that somehow that this is going to stop the black market and that the criminals are going to say, oh no, that's against the law. We can't buy these guns. Would that, is that what they're expecting?
No, well,
I mean, when you write a law that says no guns, right? I mean, you're expecting that the law-abiding criminals would abide by it. Are the criminals?
see that's where American have to be careful because the black market is huge on on the border is coming in with the black market with the gun from the black market because it doesn't matter how you buy by the law. They are the way if you don't secure the border and this is the way of transport stuff in because human traffic can coming in little gun it the buy if they put any law out there it doesn't matter because if the law will change the mafia then why Vietnam and other countries like Colombia, Brazil, and all other countries, the mafia had more power
Correct.
than the
Well, you can see
government.
it even in this country in some of the inner cities, right?
Yeah,
California has some of the most stringent gun laws in America.
yeah.
So does Illinois, and you can just see that it hasn't stopped the crime. It
No,
hasn't stopped
no.
the gun trafficking in some of your bigger cities in those states, right?
Yeah. So that's why I say it doesn't matter about the law that they put out. They can put whatever law. If people want to do criminal stuff, they do criminal. The mafia doesn't care about the law. If the mafia care about the law, they shouldn't bring human traffic into the U.S. They shouldn't bring drug into the U.S.
So do you think that if Vietnam had had the Second Amendment type laws, in fact, the Constitution says no law shall be written that would infringe the right of anyone to carry a gun. No law, zip, nada. So any of these laws, from what the Constitution says, are unconstitutional, and the idea behind it was to prevent an invasion from the outside. Do you think that Vietnam would be in the shape that it's in if it would have had the Second Amendment?
So see, if Vietnam have a Second Amendment, then like what I said beginning, if Vietnam have a Second Amendment, people have a right to have gun. The Vietnam is will be freedom by now. It's not controlled by communism because the people in Vietnam they don't want communism. That's why they are still in power, communism in power, because if they give the Second Amendment the right to have a carry gun, the people will stand up and they will freedom. Now, because of government, communism is control the people and to not make other people. The reason is the Vietnam had a very connect to Vietnam with China communism and Russia communism. So that's why the invasion of China and Russia is not going to happen now because China won't take down any communism country right now. So invasion from China or Russia is not going to happen right now. They might control Vietnam government. They might push Vietnam government to do whatever they want to do at this time, but not going to invade because they don't want to do that. If they want to invade the first country they want to China want to invade is Taiwan. Now, with the same relate topic to Ukraine.
Right.
So the same question, I'm moving to Ukraine.
So isn't it ironic that now the government in Ukraine is allowing the people to have weapons to defend the country against Russia, right?
But it's too late. If they give it from the beginning, if they give the Ukrainian the government, the Ukraine government give the Ukrainian have the right to carry a gun from the beginning. Russia think 3, 4, 5 times before they invade. Because if Russia know everybody have gun, they can't. Because look at right now, Russia use drone to spy on the people, to watch on people, to send a military in. If they know the Ukrainian had gun, everyone on gun, then the people will take help the government take our gun already.
So it would make it that much more difficult to overthrow.
Yeah, yeah. So it's make the enemy more difficult to invade, but give the citizen more option to protect them and their family. And you don't see that body dying on the street. That mean that's much because if they know if the military if the enemy know everybody maybe everybody had gun, so they have to be careful, and then the people know they can protect. They have time to run. They have time to whatever. Is people is dying in Ukraine right now because they have no way to protect them, and it is kind of too late.
Do you think that is why America hasn't been invaded by other countries is because of the Second Amendment? I mean, there's many. They would have to contend with the average American citizen, much less the American military, right?
Yes. So the other country, that's why we are the last country in the world to do something for the entire world. I mean it because first we had the advanced technology. We still have advanced technology. We are still have a lot of resource. We still have control of food, but China try to start to buy it right now. But we still have a lot of control, a lot of power in military. And another reason is the gun, because even China trying to do right now is lobbyists in DC. They try to ruin American economic. They try to take all the manufacture to China, but it doesn't matter what, they won't invade America because they know every single one had almost not every single one, but majority of American had gun, and we have more gun than the people. So that's one thing that China don't want to do anything right now in the next 20, 30 years. We don't know they have other technology after that or not, but for right now, because of what we have, they won't do anything to invade us. If we, I mean, doesn't matter what, if the government corrupt or whatever. But Taiwan is, I incur Taiwan government to allow the citizen to have gun now to protect them.
So do you think that Taiwan is next?
Because like what I say in the previous videos,
Mm-hmm.
China want to get in war with Taiwan, but Russia do get in war with Ukraine 3 days before China, and that is from a rumor from the rumor from the people from Russia. So that's what I heard. If Russia don't start war, 3 days later is China. And look the way the direction is moving. China really want to do something, but they have to pick a country to do something. Russia the same thing, because President Trump is not there. They don't care anybody. Even I mean they don't care about Joe Biden at all. They don't care.
So do you think it was because of what happened with Afghanistan that it sent a message to the
Yes,
world?
100%, 100%, 100% that what happened in Afghanistan, and I feel so sad too because I'm from Vietnam, and that's how Democrat ruined South Vietnam the same way of they ruined Afghanistan. The reason is Biden have to do something right now because within Democrat already pressure him. The Democrat is breaking up right now. They have 2, 3, or 4 Democrat right now. Now, he support a Green New Deal. The Green New Deal is killing him right now because we don't have resource. We using our reserve If we use in reserve 1,000 gallon a day for
which was meant for military, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is something. If we have to use a resource for oil and for gas and all and keep the military and the bugle operating and stuff like that and manufacture. If we want to bring the manufacture back, we need gas. We need resource. So that's why he's screwing up. And the same people who support Green New Deal, it pressure on Biden to stand up for Ukraine. But Biden don't want to stand up for Ukraine. But if he don't do that, you see, if he don't do that, he will be removed from the office within the party.
So what do you think is going to be the end of this Ukrainian issue? Do you think that there's going to be a peace agreement? Do you think that what do you think is going to happen?
So, like from what I say from the previous video, Putin is not really in war with Ukraine much. He's more targeting US and NATO. So look at all the suffer from the European and America, because we don't have supply, we don't have resource, we don't have anything. Yes, the NATO put the military in, right? Try to help to win back and all stuff like that. But we don't know what the game Putin doing right now, because I don't think Russia technology is weak. I think it's more like a game that he doing right now than weakness, because Putin is very strong. I mean, and he do what he want to do. Nobody can control him. But by the end, it will be peaceful agreement and stuff like that. But I don't know. The question is when and how long from now is this? My worry is more citizen people get killed until they get peaceful agreement, because it's the reaction of American, Biden, and NATO right now. Yeah, so that's the problem. We have to see what's going on in the next few months. But Ukraine is a good example for having gun from the beginning, and then I want Taiwan people to have gun right now too. And then if Vietnamese people have a gun right now, there's no more communism. So if
Well, you see that also down in Venezuela.
yeah,
Guns were taken away. The people can't fight back.
yeah,
In Australia,
Yeah.
just did the same thing. And in Australia, I think that the facts were out that there was more home invasions that occurred after the guns were taken away and
Yeah.
such, and it just kind of leaves the people vulnerable.
yeah. It's the same thing like Australia, Vietnam, but Vietnam is worse because the people don't have a gun for a long time. Venezuela is a good example. It's just recently, if the people have a gun, they will fight back. They will have the freedom, and if they fight back, they aren't poor like what they are now. They don't have to leave their country to go to another country. Nobody want to leave your home to a new environment by force, because a lot of people going to another country is because they cannot live with the government and they see no future. That's why they have to leave the country. I mean, they can go for free for opportunity. They can go because of politics. Doesn't matter what. That's too is main important for people life, economically or politically. That is something that really I don't want to see for everybody globally.
So what would you do if you were in Congress today? What would you do to protect the Second Amendment for if you kind of had it?
Like I think if I'm in the government today, and I will protect the Second Amendment with the best as I can, with anything I can, because I use myself as experience. When I grow up in Orlando, Pine Hill, we educated is no gun, remove Second Amendment, gun is bad, gun is this and that. It's brainwash me, and because of the culture of Vietnam, is not allowed to have gun. So that's why in my family and my mentality is say, okay, no gun is no good, stuff like that. But the more I grow up, I see the gun is very important. Without gun, we are more in danger um, by now. So now, from a guy who not agree with gun to support gun like 200%, not 100%. I have a few gun now, so don't come to my house. Don't come to my house. So I had a few gun now. So from a guy who don't have gun to have a few gun, and of course I'm protect the Second Amendment as the best as I can and anything that I can because I see the value of it. When people don't see the value, it's a different story. The same thing like why I'm gonna run for Congress now because I see the values of what I can do for our country. Because running for the Congress for me is not a career or want to become a powerful person because my platform is term limit. Term limit is something is not for people to become power. So that's not what I'm looking for. And if I just do what I'm doing, be an engineer, had some small business going on, then I can have over six figure. I don't have to work for the Congress to get paid. So it's not about the money for me. It's not a career for me because I have so many career. If people who know me, I have a lot of career that I can work on.
But those guys are getting paid pretty good there in Congress.
What
They're making a lot of money. I
they
mean, it's become a pretty lucrative job, right?
because they that's why they're looking for a career in Congress, and I don't. So the same thing, I'm do whatever I can to protect this country, stand up for this country, and I think it's the right time for me. Is I'm do my best, everything I can for this country to appreciate American is allow Vietnamese people to come here, and my family is here, and then I did something I give back, and I see the value of opportunity and freedom, and that's the same values I will protect Second Amendment. So for me, run a Congress is a big deal, and protect Second Amendment is a big deal too. Be-
Another thing concerning that in running for Congress is that you have a ruling that came down last week in New York State and also in Maryland. And then we have some issues here in Florida about the redistricting of the congressional districts. So judges in New York State and Maryland ruled that the Democrats in those states were gerrymandering and they were trying to come up with districts that ruled out Republican seats. Your comment on that?
Well, of course, Democrat want to rule out the Republican seat because they want to control those states and they want to take the power. It's always been like that. A Democrat want to expand it. Remember, they want DC to have another Congress seat too.
Oh, Senate seat as well.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's why they won. That's why a part of it. They want Democrat to control more and more and more, so they can easy influence people and get control. Remember, when the government get power, that is where you lost your freedom because they will push everything on the law and on the policy. In average people, not mafia, average people, they will do and comply whatever the government want them to do. Fact, when the government want to shut down for the China virus, people like a sheep do whatever the government want. Look at Florida. We lucky we have Ron DeSantis. We have Ron DeSantis. Wait a minute. We open right away. Look at everything that's happened now. We are we don't have financial problem. Kid in school catch up with the work. People have freedom and opportunity to do stuff. Other state student, kid, they can go school and they behind,
Right.
and their economic is suffer. And if the staying home and wear the mask is help them, why those states had more people die and illness than Florida?
Correct. Makes you remember the quote, what does it say? When the government fears the people, there's freedom. When the people fear the government, what is it? There's tyranny.
Yeah.
So you would say that's
Yeah,
pretty accurate.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
So it says, there's the old quote, when the government fears the people, there's freedom. When the people fear the government, there's tyranny.
See, when the government always, if they want power, they always fear of of the people freedom. If they don't fear American freedom, I mean the people freedom, that means the government respect the people and they don't want to control people. They do what the have to be job have to be done. So if they if they push something that to the people to loss of freedom, that means they fear or they want to take control. So the fear that they have is the power. They want more power. They want more control. So they don't want the people to have freedom. So their fear is if the people have freedom, they cannot do whatever they want. They cannot stay in power. They cannot do a lot of stuff that people don't know of. So it's a giant network and the problem for American. So that's why I say dumb American shouldn't fear for anything. We have to take our country back, be strong, freedom, and don't worry about the government. And of course, we have to obey the law, but don't let the people in office create a law that will take away your freedom.
And when it gets to the redistricting, a lot of that should be based upon the census, isn't it? Supposed to be based upon
Yes.
what the census reports said. So the problem here in Florida, and the governor said the other day that he vetoed the bill because it was unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's right. Because remember, you and I met. Met Ron DeSantis last week. So we met him last week, last couple of days here in Townsville, and then you asked him about a question too, and yes, he knocks on because it's unconditional for the amendment. So everything have to be conditional. For the amendment and everything have to be in the system. Everything based on the consistent and then we'll have to do with all the steps. You cannot skip and then just push the law as you want to be.
Yeah, even the legislature, I think,
Yeah,
is
legislature.
complicit in that situation, and he refuses to go forward until they give him the bill that he believes lines up with the census
Yeah,
of
yeah.
what should
I,
happen.
I completely agree because you have to go with a census. It cannot go with what you want.
Right.
It's go with a census, and it should be the same everywhere. It's not about see that's why John DeSantis had done so many great job. He do it right thing and as a leadership because he want to pass the law legitimate and then based on the data based on the information and then that's how you push the law out. You don't want to push a law out without based on the information, the data, the billboard, the publicity, and all stuff like that. And then that's mean the government want to take the power.
So, and we did meet him the other day, and you brought him up. What do you think makes him such a good leader here in Florida?
Be a good leader is based on a lot of different factor and a lot of about the person responsibility and your leadership skill because you can look at President Trump and Biden. President Trump is he know exactly what he doing. He know what he say, and he know how to negotiate, and he know what he have to do for the law, and he know how to deal with foreign policy. So everything he do is logic and legitimate and he anything he pass, he want to make sure is concrete. He go through the whole entire system without jumping and push the law for the bill. So that's why President Trump is able to remove a lot of law bill that's signed by Obama. Ron DeSantis do the same thing. He know what he have to do for for this state. He know exactly what is need to be done in the right way. So people cannot go back and remove more change. And he know what to do to be best for the Floridian. That's why he opened the door. He say this China virus is will damage our state. So the same thing that redistrict right now. If he know it's going to be bad for our state, he don't want to sign for it. Same thing with the President Trump. Why China, Russia, and every other country respect President Trump because he mean what he say, and he say what he mean. Vice Joe Biden, he say one thing one day and he say another thing next day. Who gonna respect a leadership like that?
So do you think that's a good model for how you would govern if you were in Congress?
Yeah, I mean that's is a model I'm doing because I think somehow I'm very straightforward too, and I'm direct, and I'm doing a business, and engineering mindset. This. So because of that, how it's built me, I'm very strong and straightforward, and that's how President Trump is a model that I wanna be, and I wanna do similar to what he do. But of course, I have my own way, and I have my own um, opinion. But in order to have a leadership, you have to think for the people first. If you want to run in office, doesn't matter what level, you have to think for the people first. What is good for people, and you have to use your own experience for that. So President Trump used the same thing. He run for the people from the very first day. Very first day, he say, "I give American back to people." On very first day. So that's he was thinking for the people. Now, when I'm running for Congress, I'm thinking of the people. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm thinking the people is who? It's my family, my children, my friend, everybody around me. That's the people.
Do you
So
think that someone with a business background like yourself would have an advantage as far as making decisions and writing laws, say as you saw with Trump?
I think not. I have to say not every businessman is the same thing, but majority of the businessmen who own a business, they understand the challenge, and they know to what to do to make a decision for the business. Because in order to be a leadership of making a decision, when you own your business is where you have to have a decision, because where your company is tearing or moving, that's a decision. But not every businessman will do the same thing. Some businessmen is only do good what they do. But President Trump is not only a businessman, but he have his heart into this country. So that's why he willing to put a flag and get fined, big flag to get fined. It's because he think American or state or that local or wherever his business deserve a big flag. So he don't care. He just put it. It's is something that he love this country. If you do something with love, you will do it much better. So one thing for me, this is me. I I don't care what people thinking out there. People keep saying do what you love because they only have one thing to do. But I'm opposite. I love what I do. So when I love what I do, it doesn't matter what it come from me. I will take that seriously, and I will take it professionally, and I do the best that I can because I don't do what I love. I love what I do. So when you love what you do, you will grow, you will make it better, you will expand it. Then you just focus on one thing. That's why a lot of people say, Tuan, you over the place. Why can you handle all this? And I say it's easy for me because I don't do what I love, but I love what I do. So everything I'm get involved with, I mean, it doesn't relate at all. But I do the best I can.
Well, it's that old saying that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of how you feel about it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
So how does this? So you being a businessman, you can understand and how this inflation and the things that has happened here over the last few months, it's really affects you, and yet you're still been able to operate.
Yeah, well, we will talk about business and stuff like that on the next one.
Okay.
So because we don't have a lot of time, so we I do have an answer for you all that,
Okay.
but I want to save it. I want to
To
save
be
it.
continued.
Yeah, continue. So let's go back to what we focus in is district and mapping. I think what this census does is right. And yes, we have to district based on the data. We cannot just push the districts however we want. And everything has to go to by law, like what I say. An average people, a normal citizen, a good citizen, they will obey the law if you do it right. So everybody will obey the law. I mean, debate the law, but you have to do it right.
Whether it's gun control or redistricting, you have to adhere to the law.
Yes, yes. The gun control is all. I mean, we always have a good gun control. I mean, there always things to change, improve, but you cannot remove the gun. You can have the law change, modify based on the situation, but you have to keep the Second Amendment there permanently because that is how our country, how the people get protected, and that's how American citizens will feel comfortable to live in their house. If they don't have a piece of gun in their house, they will feel fear when they hear some noise. I mean, outside the house. I mean, seriously. If today Biden say, "Hey, take all the gun," I guarantee you, we will be the biggest crime in the world by the next day. There's so many people will take advantage of that and do a massive criminal and stuff like that when we have the border is not secure and when we have a lot of import from different country so they can bring a lot of back to your question too, they can bring a lot of um, uh, black market gun and ruin a country, and then that's why we have to keep the Second Amendment stay strong, like how I discussed this, so
There's not gonna ever be enough laws to be able to stop the criminals from having guns, right? The criminals will always find a way to have guns, right?
yeah, like what I say, Vietnam no gun, a lot of people die every day.
Okay.
There's many countries, but I cannot point out right now. I mean, where like Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, they kill people by. I mean, they kill people by your source. Even China,
Yeah.
they kill people by knife, by source, by everything. But American don't see it.
Well, you see, you have a lot of knife attacks in England as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like what I say, New York City. If people who hold the source or knife long enough run down the street, it's kill more than gun.
Yeah.
Because gun, you have to reload. People run. You're running like that. Because how many bullets you can load on a gun? Even a machine gun or whatever. But New York, they don't hear anything. No sound. So quiet. By the time the motorcycle get to you, or the moped or whatever, you already die. Or get hurt. But gun, when you hear something, run. As long as the bullet come up, you hear the gun, people run off already. So it doesn't matter. People kill people by using many different weapons. No, not only gun. So gun doesn't kill people. It's the people kill people, and people have to understand that your gun is something to protect your family, you and your family. And the same thing, if I'm driving, because I used to travel a lot, and when I look back, I'm really fear too. And now, I mean, don't come to my car, but 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 before, if my car break down the street, what can I do? They can rob me, they can kill me without knowing anything. Because if you don't have a weapon, to keep your safety, there's so much more dangers.
A lot of it's preventative, right? If someone knows, if you know, like in a lot of the states now, they're passing the open carry law,
Mm-hmm.
so that when and it's been proven that in those places the crime rates have gone down,
Mm-hmm.
not up.
Yeah.
But when there's uncertainty as to whether someone is carrying, you're less reticent to engage in activities or criminal activities, right?
Yes. Look at it this way. If a guy who want to rob a bank, and when he know that like a lot of people have open carrier, they don't go into, even like if they want to go to a convenience store, and they know the convenient employee, and if they know the customer also have a open carrier, they have to be careful too, because it's not only the people who work at the convenience store have gun, but the customer also have gun. If they can rob them inside, can they run outside? You see, because as soon as the people, the customer, anybody, when they see a gun pull out for that anyone, it's a self defense. They automatic pull the gun out, and if you start shooting something, they have to shoot, you know, that person too. So the criminal will be reduced because they fear of the money is not get, they get killed before the money it get away.
Right.
You
So
know?
it's a great preventative to know, I mean, for that to be the case, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So there's a lot of people that would be reluctant.
yeah.
I mean, you never see a lot of people going into police stations. It doesn't happen, right?
No.
And so it's a big preventative method as much as anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like what I say, keep Americans safe first, and keep Americans safe first. You have to have the Second Amendment secure and in place. Don't let the Democrat try to take it away, or create too much control on it, because that is your freedom, your freedom, your safety, and your opportunity to protect your family. Because if you have kid, you have gun is a good opportunity to make sure your kid is safe. That is the, I mean, I'm a man and you're a man too, and when we have children, we want to do whatever to protect the family. So in order to protect a family, we want to make sure they are safe. So in order to make sure they're safe, we have to have anything, weapon, gun, whatever around, to not let anybody to get into our property. So that is the opportunity for the father to protect the family, not only going out to work, but it's also a protect a family. So that's what my concern, and that's what I had for about a gun, and the problem in that we have, and in Vietnam, or the problem in Ukraine right now. Ukraine, if they let the people have a gun from the beginning, Russia might be careful.
Saying going forward, there's some other things that you're going to talk about keeping America safe. Guns are one of them, and in the future, you're going to talk about other things. You have other ideas as well that hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about in this podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of other stuff to talk. We still have a long way to go. We still have a few more months for our campaigns. But hopefully people will follow us on this channel, and they can get a message from me, and they can understand, they can know more about me through this channel, because I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman and engineer. So I don't have a connection that donation, right, as I mentioned from last time. So please, if you love what I do, if you see what I'm trying to do, please donate for my campaign. I need a lot of support from everybody. I need donation. And please share the video to everybody because I am not a popular person, so that's why my voice is not been heard by a lot of people, and I want people to understand what I'm doing right now for our country and what I'm standing up for, not for my benefit, not just taking power or career. I want to do this for the people, and I see the values of our country and opportunity. I don't want that gone away because I will talk more in other video why American is a time for me to do something because of my background and why it's very important for me to do something right now because otherwise it's going to be too late. And yeah, so
Yeah, where can they go to donate?
yes, so they can go to the donation, go to my webpage, tuanleforcongress.com. So we'll put it on a video, but on the bottom.
TuanLeForCongress.com.
tuanleforcongress.com. Go there and do donation because we need a lot of donation to fight. And I don't have a lot. I don't have connection and wealthy donation like other candidates. So I need every penny. But thank you very much for being with us today, and thank you very much for watching us all the way to the end. And thank you, Kevin, for being here too. And we will have a guest speaker on the next videos. She used to be a candidate for District 9, and she stepped down. I mean, she's not running for this term. She gonna run for 2024, but she tried to help me right now too. And coming up, we also have a guest, a Ukraine guest from in Central Florida community. Ukraine in Central Florida. Guests will be here on our following videos. And thank you very much. And we'll see you.